Hello, everybody. My name is Jeffrey Martin. I am a public librarian, but this particular thing I'm doing is not part of any job assignment or anything. I've just felt like doing it. We've been doing a virtual story time at home while kids are at home for a while. This is for mostly like upper elementary kids. We are on. We've been reading My Fantastically Evil Vampire Pet by Mo O'Hara. We're almost done with that. Check the earlier videos to get the earlier chapters in that. And we are going to do chapters 25 and 26 today. I hope you enjoy them. Geeky Girl, yes! Result, she got the gun. Right, Sanj? It's 7 meters, Dustin said. So I guess it's time to try out the big guy. You won't find Igor around here to zap him with the ray, I shouted. Who says we're talking about Igor? Sanj laughed a particularly wheezy, evil laugh. Seriously, you should see a doctor about that dude, Dustin said. Then he blew the whistle in a different way. Geeky Girl peeked her head out from behind the tree and tried to mouth a message to me. I think she might have been mouthing, I've switched the polarity on the gun so that it reverses things. I'm going to try to isolate Fang and Boris in the beam, and hopefully that will free them from the hypnotic ray. Or she may have said something about polar bears having a nice day. I heard a muffled zapping noise and a rustling of feathers, and saw Boris fly out of his perch between 2 dazed-looking blue jays. Sanj and Dustin still seemed distracted, looking out into the woods for whatever they were waiting for. Then another zap, and Fang shook her head. She hissed at the crow and ferret, and shook herself free. She looked over at me for a second, and she looked like she was going to run to me, but changed her mind. She looked out of the circle and ran towards the tree that Geeky Girl still hid behind, obviously still mad at me for last night. It was like a kick in the stomach. Even when faced with a wall of creepy stare animals, she would rather run away from me than come to me. Did you hear something? Dustin said, and turned around. Maybe it's the big guy, Sanj suggested. So if the big guy isn't Igor, then who is this secret weapon in their evil trap plan? Did they hypno one of the counselors or trap a park ranger or something? There was a rustling in the trees, heading for the clearing. Sanj, did you pick up the nicifying helpful minion ray? Dustin asked, because I swear I leaned it against the tree. Geeky Girl peeked out and mouthed me another message. I think this one said, I'm trying to reset the ray gun so it can unhypnotize all the animals at once. That should free you. Then the rustling got louder and was followed by some serious stomping. Even with the noise from the stomping and the wall of animals, I could still hear my heart beating above it all. A large brown bear padded into the clearing. Sanj and Dustin both stepped back. So there you are, big guy. You took your time, Dustin said. I quickly looked over at Geeky Girl and tried to mouth a message back to her that said, just be careful not to unhypno the bear at the same time, or we're sunk. Her last mouth message to me before she pulled the trigger on the ray gun said, no, don't worry. I won't hit the skunk. Alright. So that's chapter 25. Let's go for chapter 26. The next thing I knew, the wall of forest animals around me started to crumble and fall. Birds flew off to nearby trees or pecked along the ground. Squirrels started digging around in the leaves. Raccoons started chasing squirrels. Skunks started waddling off to wherever it is skunks normally go. And groundhogs just kind of sat there, looking like grumpy groundhogs, really. Geeky Girl ran over to me with the ray gun in her hand. I did it! I did it! She jumped up and down. You did it, Sanj shouted at her. You've ruined everything. I think you totally ruined stuff first, Sanj, I started to say, but was interrupted by a very loud roar. The bear was shaking its head, looking around, obviously confused. It looked unhappy, and worst of all, it kind of looked hungry. You unhypnotized the bear? Dustin screeched. Sorry about that, Geeky Girl said. Run! Sanj shouted and started to move. Dustin grabbed his arm and held him firmly. Stand very still, Dustin spoke quietly in a very calm voice. If you run, the bear will run too. Good, Sanj nodded. I want the bear to run. Go for them, Sanj shouted and pointed over towards Geeky Girl and me. Boris flitted down onto her shoulder, and Fang crept along the ground till she was next to my foot. She kept her eye on the bear the whole time. Sanj and Dustin now stood on one side of the clearing, and we were on the other. The bear stood between us. We were like statues. The only movement came from slightly dazed groundhogs and squirrels still wandering around, bumping into things. We have to trap the bear somehow, I said, trying to use a calm voice like Dustin had done, but really feeling my words shaking as they came out. Can't you use that whistle thing on it again? Geeky Girl whispered. Not since you've unhypnotized him, I can't, Dustin said. Look, I said sorry, Geeky Girl said, and I've already reprogrammed the ray gun to unhypnotize, so it can't zap him again either. The only way that bear is going to give up is when he's already caught and eaten us, Sanj said. Or you, ideally. Then I looked over at Geeky Girl. Or the bear thinks he's caught us. Yes, Geeky Girl very slowly reached into her bag. She gently lifted out the 3D goggles and started to adjust the controls on the side. The bear started to sniff the air and scratch the ground. This isn't good, people, Dustin said. He's smelling us and deciding that would be pretty good to eat. What on earth can you do with goggles that will stop the bear? Throw them at him? Sanj asked. He started backing away and the bear growled again. I don't know anything really about bear behavior, but this bear looked ready to strike. I gently moved my leg in front of Fang to protect her. She rubbed against my ankle, and I felt a little furry shiver travel up my leg. She was scared too. I really hadn't seen Fang scared of many things before. I didn't know what to do. Okay, it's ready, but how do we get him to wear them? Geeky Girl asked. I'll do it, I said as I took one step forward. Fang pounced on my jacket and clawed her way up to my shoulder. Suddenly she wasn't shaking anymore. Her grip was strong. I could feel her tail thwack against my jacket. Meow! She kitten roared, and the bear stared right at her. Here's Fang doing her roar. Okay, so there's this bear and Fang and Mark and the other kids. They're all trying to get away from this bear, and Mark is about to try to put these goggles that is bear trap. His and Geeky Girls, where they the goggles make people think they're in a trap. So we'll see next time what happens. I hope you have a good day. I hope you've enjoyed this, and appreciate you.